What is homeopathy? How does it work? Did you know that until the early 1900s, homeopathy was a mainstay in most U.S. medical schools, but now the FDA is doing everything in its power to make sure that you do not have access to homeopathic remedies? Keep watching as Dr. Frank King, author of The Healing Revolution, shares from his 40 years in natural health care, diving deeper into homeopathy and the law of similars. Enjoy the video.
As we know, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, homeopathy has been around for over 200 years, used globally by physicians. It's a fabulous healing art. The way it works on is what we call the law of similars. It's a pharmacological law of similars. Matter of fact, two of the most healing, curative techniques that are actually bastardized homeopathy, but they're using the law of similars, and that is something that homeopaths are against, but they're using this law of similars, and it's called immunizations. Immunizations do work, but they put such ugly things. They use live viruses. They do not use the full homeopathic principle, but you can see the power of what it does in stopping a number of diseases in the world. However, we have remedies. Homeopaths were so against it, they found remedies through the process of immunizations that actually antidote all the negative side effects of immunizations. They actually help detoxify us from the negative effects of immunizations as well. Here you can see, and I want you to look at this, as the history of homeopathy is very deep. It has actually been validated through the test of time, and you'll see with the hospitals throughout the U.S. and the world that look at these typhus epidemics and pandemics that have occurred in the history. In the allopathic hospitals, you'll see the results, the mortality, the death rate, and compared to the homeopathic hospitals that were seeing the same cases, the same seriousness of cases. Look at the cholera changes here, differences. Look at the history both in Europe and the U.S. Look at malaria in the U.S., 50% mortality rate, 5.6. Diphtheria, you look at the Spanish flu, the great pandemic. Here's specific how many cases homeopathically that were treated. Look at the difference. Nearly 30% here, just a hair over 1% mortality in the homeopathic hospitals. Homeopathy is for real. It's energy medicine, yes, and it works deep into our control networks of our bodies to give us a very powerful healing effect. You'll see here, we're going to speed this up, but you'll see, homeopathy is very popular throughout the world, Europe, South America. You'll see a lot of research. I pulled a few things up here for cancer. You guys have been so so much information. I don't want to overload you. You can always look at these. They're referenced here. Look at this here for all these cancers, 70% results over a 5-year study, just using one ingredient homeopathically. That's called serenum. And when you hear these terms, you've been maybe scared. If you can't pronounce it, don't take it. These are Latin terms. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the Latin terms. Actually, the number one cause of death today is not cancer, no more. It's not heart disease. It's iatrogenic disease that creates cancer. Okay, so iatrogenic disease. That's from mistakes from physicians and from side effects of drugs. When you total those together, the death rate is higher than heart disease or cancer. Here, heavy metal toxicity, you've heard a lot about that. We have a heavy metal detox product, very powerful. And what it does lead to is this thing called candida. Candida, fungus, yeast, all the same family, same thing. I've been dealing with this candida since the late 70s. We've been watched how many people have walked these tightrope diets and had to live on these tightrope diets, feel like you're imprisoned. We were here to liberate people. When you get all the pieces put together again, you can be liberated. You don't have to live in like you're in a prison any longer. You can be healed. And that's what homeopathy has really helped to open the door to that. What homeopathy does about toxins, and in some of this and on our website, we have techniques where you can use our detox products, and there's techniques to how to desensitize yourself, massaging and finding tender spots along the spine where your alarm points are in your acupuncture system, where your neurolymphatic reflexes are along your spine, and your key muscles along in those tiny little muscles that spaz out that with pinched nerves. And you can actually help release yourself from all this nerve interference, acupuncture interference, and desensitize yourself from both allergies as well as toxins. We all have an energy around our body. This energy, you can photograph it with Kirlian photography. You can see it around foods. You can see it around homeopathic formulas. And so this energy, you can actually hold a product and get a reflex response from your body that will tell you your body is a whole lot smarter than all of us will ever ascend to cortically in our own minds. Our bodies, the key to our great successes in practice is when we can communicate with the body. The body is amazing. It's made, in scriptures it said, it's made in the image and likeness of God. The body is equipped with powers and insights, a wealth of wisdom, a reservoir of knowledge within us that we can tap that'll take us light years beyond the limitations of lab tests. Isn't that a good idea? And so we can now begin to get direct confirmation from the body to tell us exactly what things do we need and what we don't need.
Thanks for watching. I hope you liked today's video. Make sure to head over to our website to keep reading more interesting science-based articles about your health and how to stay cancer-free. Just click on the button here on the screen and make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any new videos.